But for Jace, who's constantly kicking on this left leg, 1,000 times a week, 998 times at training and 2 on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, pretty much.
I'd like to just test how that sort of has a nice end range. Usually on the opposite side. Yeah, see that? See how much it reacts and comes back? G'day guys, Darcy and Jace here.
Hello.
Today we're talking hip flexors, in particular your psoas and your iliacus, and how they can impact your posture at your trunk, how it can cause rotations and twists. Much like your SEM, your
Cleidomastoid.
Thanks, Jace. And how that can rotate to the opposite side. So as I rotate to the left, my right sternocleidomastoid actually creates that movement, much like our hip flexors. As we do some rotation in our trunk, our opposite side, so if I rotate to my left, my right hip flexor, my right psoas is actually going to be pulling on my spine to that degree. So if we see, we've done this already in our, I was talking about obliques and how we can see twists in scoliosis and things like that. Now we're looking at the spine. We're also going to have a little look at Jason, because he plays footy and he's always kicking on his left, how that movement is going to impact his pelvis, the position of his pelvis, and maybe some deficiencies in terms of weaknesses and some postural twists and things like that. So let's have a little look at this anatomy. Leo, come over here. So
I'll hold it there for you.
Hold it there.
Yeah.
So you can see where it originates. It starts at our L1, like the spinous processes, transverse processes of our spine, right up in here. Yeah. Okay. And then it comes down, and the psoas major actually comes into the inguinal ligament, and then our iliacus wraps around the inside of our ilium, into our lesser trochanter. So you can see how large a muscle group that is, and sometimes we're forgotten, and really a lot of people don't know actually how to test for it, see how it's strong and or if it's weak as well. So what I like to do first, Jace, is we're going to turn, we'll have a look at your left one. Actually, first of all, let's just go through some range of motion. So I grab his leg.
Hello, Patreonos!
Patreonos!
Oh, he's a natural!
Jenga!
Oh, what? He's there. Come on, show your leg.
Please, my turn.
Yep.
Right, I'm done.
Patrono pole dancing for you.
Oh, yeah, I'm going. All right, grab him. Done. 12.
I come up and see if there's any blockages through there. A little bit of blockage in there, maybe through the front here. Yeah. That could also be like quads, it could be groins as well. And then what I like to do is externally rotate the foot, a little bit of abduction, lift the leg up here. I press on his ASIS, and then I get Jace to hold that position. Okay, a little bit more external rotation. Good. If the person cramps, there's really an indication of if there's some tightness in there, and I get him to push up against my hand. And that's pretty good. Now, what I like to do, I don't compare you to Jason, I compare Jason to Jason, left side to right side. Okay, so we've done the hip flexion. We come up, we see, this one might be a little bit more kinked. What do you feel?
This feels more like muscular at the back more than it does hip flexor. But
Okay, cool. So again, a little bit of external rotation, lock that leg out. We come up to that similar degree, push down on ASIS, hold Jace. Good, dorsiflex, really good, and push up against my hand. Pretty similar. You're pretty good actually. He's actually pretty strong in there, so he's ticked the box. But just to follow along, what do you feel like you need more treatment on the left or the right side,
I felt
Jace?
like the left one was actually probably a bit...
Yeah.
I struggled to hold it more.
Yeah. I reckon 80% of my clients that I do that test on, they are weak. Okay, a lot of people have weak hip flexors because of this. You're sitting down too much. Look at the position of my pelvis, look at the position of my spine, and how that muscle is now like short and tight, gets irritated. Then we stand up, and then we go to the gym and start to squat. Then we go to the gym and start to lunge, and we forget about actually isolating that muscle and strengthening our hip flexors. I will show you how to do that at the end of this video. But to begin with, we're actually going to start by hitting Jason's psoas on his left side. So we get our hands. Very good. Jason's already starting to breathe because we need to make sure that he's relaxed. We need to get through a couple of layers here. We've got these strong abdominals on Jace. We need to go deeper to that.
Oh, yeah.
And again, another breath in. and out. Really good. And we're sinking right in. You saw that it attaches onto the spine. Look how thick Jason is. Oh, he's actually got a tiny little waist, but there's a lot of muscle mass through here that I need to work through. Now, the reason we go slow is, there's intestines and there's other organs and things like that that are going to be down here, but they do just sort of get out of the way, and you can actually start to feel. Jace, if you just lift up that left leg, I can feel, okay, so I'm off it. I need it to come more central. And there it is.
That's it.
Yeah. So everybody's different. Yeah, I'm more central there on Jace. And what I'm feeling for... it's
banging down the leg.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if I didn't do a little test previous to that, I would have spent 3 or 4 minutes wasting my time. You have to make sure that you're being effective with your treatment and just know the tricks of the trade, know how to find where it is. So as he lifted up his leg, I could feel the muscle contract, much like a bicep curl. If you were to tense that, you can feel the muscle contract as he flexes the elbow. Okay, so we're right on the middle of it there. It is like a really, really thick guitar string. It's like really ropey on Jace at the moment. So sitting on that, waiting with weight, is going to help unravel some of that tension.
Yeah.
And just,
It's not the most comfortable spot to get treated, but it does feel good after it's done.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it?
You just got to embrace it and breathe your way through it. You can't tense and fight up because then it limits how much Darcy can actually get into that area.
Yeah.
So you've just got to take not real deep breaths, but just nice and controlled.
So, as we're treating the left side, as I spoke to you about the SEM earlier, if we saw some rotations to the right where his ASIS, yes, on that right side, and his nipple were getting a little bit closer together and a little bit of a rotation, we'd also treat obliques and things like that. But if the obliques weren't the underlying issue, then we would start to consider treating hip flexors as well. And abdominals, even, up high, up in here. You'd start to release all of those things as well. But a lot of the times those rotations and twists in our core are just muscle imbalances. And that's where the bodywork's important. Okay, enough talking. What I want you to do that now that we've been in here for long enough and things are starting to soften, so we're going to do an active release. So Jace is going to bring his left foot up. Yep. Sliding, good, and back down. Does that intensify it for you, man, or how's it feel?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's really not a comfortable muscle to treat. If you've had this treated before, let us know. Tell us about your experience. If you haven't, you need to get it done.
Yeah.
You really need to get it done. Nice. Unlocking lower back pain, unlocking things like anterior pelvic tilts, or posterior tilts, unlocking hip impingement, FAIs. There's
so many things.
There's so many things that we could list, but today we're talking about weakness in our hip flexors or imbalances in our hip flexors that can cause twists and rotations in your spine. Nice. 2 more, I reckon, bro. Starting to get easier.
Yeah.
Really good. Last one, and I'm just doing little angle changes, pushing down, but I'm not changing a lot. My force is deep enough. It's about a 6 out of 10. If I was pushing as hard as I could, it's about a 6. Good, and we're going to slowly sink out of that. That is just as important. Okay, so there's some redness there. We can see some blood flow. Let's have a really good really quick test. Oh yeah, that feels a little bit nicer. Bit smoother. You still got some kinks in your hamstrings there, I can feel. See if that made it feel any stronger. Yep, getting there.
Yep.
Good. All right, let's go iliacus. So you want to have a quick look on that book again over here, Leo, and show them where iliacus is, so you can see that I'm going to actually be treating on the inside of the bowl. Okay. So think of this bowl on the inside here. We're going to be pushing up against that. So come right up the top, right on that ASIS, and use my thumbs and go really slow. Again, it's a nasty spot to get. Thanks, man. Wow. Jace can sort of show you exactly where I am.
In here.
Yep. right up against where that iliacus, and then it inserts into our lesser trochanter, which you can't see because we do need our femur, but it's like in there.
Down in here on me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I like to do a little bit of rotation of the femur just to really light it up and get some more better release. Leo's got the camera work going there. I like it. It's really good. You can get a little bit.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
See?
Really good. Look at that. And I'm just going to trace inside that ilium and give it a really good clean out. So I'm looking for adhesions, any sticky points. Jace is also, going to give me feedback as to, like, that's an important spot. I can resonate pain with that.
Yeah. I feel like it's coming down to a spot down there.
Okay, so Jason's probably getting
angled down and out. I reckon that's where mine will be.
Down.
And then out there. Yep.
And what's it in there? Okie dokie. Right deep into that hip crease.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, when we tested it before, sometimes muscle tightness can inhibit the strength. Okay, so if you've got kinks in your muscles or like some tension in there, releasing that is actually inhibiting how that muscle performs. So before, when we tested Jason's hip flexor strength, yes, we said it was really good. Once we release it, it actually improves. It gets better because that neuromuscular connection, that the way the brain senses and talks to that muscle, is no longer compromised by kinks in the muscle or speed humps that deliver that message. Yeah, so that's important.
Yeah, muscles can be tight but weak. So you don't always think that muscles are short, tight, they're strong and they're overactive. Sometimes, like Darcy said, if you're in that seated position, those hip flexors are short, but they're not necessarily strong.
Yeah.
So, they might be short, pulling you into an anterior pelvic tilt, but when you actually go to activate them or have a resisted test, they can actually be weak and tight.
Yep.
So, you need to release that tension, and then you can actually have a greater muscle activation in that area.
Exactly. Really good. So I'm just going to do something a bit different here. We're also affecting like the fascia.
Bit of the abdominals in there.
Bit of the abdominals and just hydrating that area. Jason's really good. It is a challenge to do this on somebody that's overweight. If you're overweight, your hip flexors are really going to be put on a lot of work through them. Like your spine and like the muscles in your back are. You're relying a lot on them. So your hip flexors, they're going to be pretty angry.
Need a lot of work.
They're going to be pretty inflamed. But for Jace, who's constantly kicking on this left leg, 1,000 times a week, 998 times at training, and 2 on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, pretty much.
And he's been doing that.
And 0 on the opposite side.
He's been doing
0 at training, 0 during the game.
Since he was 5, he's 30, so for 25 years, do the maths for me, guys. I think it's 2 billion kicks.
All at training.
All at training. So, we're relying on that hip flexion and the muscles around it. So that's getting, a bit there, is it?
Yeah.
So just a bit higher.
Oh my God, it's up there.
Really good. Let's just do one more, like a bit of a breaststroke here, Jay. So bring your knee up.
Oh, straight up.
Straight up, turn it out. Nah. Yep.
I don't do breaststroke, Dars. I'm not a swimmer.
Good, 5 of those.
Up, out, kick.
That's it.
Oh, we're definitely not doing breaststroke if we do a swimming competition.
That's it. I like it. Just a really good pin and stretch movement. Nice. One more. As he's doing it, my thumb's slowly coming up. Good. And I really like that, man.
Oh, it felt good.
So what I also like to do, come down here, when we release our hip flexors, I like to just test how like that sort of has a nice end range. Usually on the opposite side. Yeah, see that? See how much it reacts and comes back? That's hip flexors. Look at this one. Let's get him centered. This one is nice and a little bit more externally rotated, isn't it, compared to the left? So that's a good little win. And that just feels nicer to me. Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Bang.
Bang. And just retest that for me again. Push up.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Because I felt like at the start that one moved a little
Yep.
bit. Like I didn't feel like you were going to push it down, but
Yep.
it just felt like it wasn't as stable as this right side was.
Exactly. Do that test. Do it on yourself. You know, don't have somebody push it down. See how it feels.
Even just
if
holding
you really,
it there.
just holding it there. If you really struggle with that, start to do that. That can be a corrective exercise for you to actually activate that muscle in your hip, your psoas, and you can start to see some change just over a couple of weeks of doing that. You'd hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. We're going to go down to the gym. I'm going to show you some hip flexor strength exercises for those that do have weak hip flexors, which, as I said, 80% of my clients do, so it is important. See you down there.
See ya.
All right, guys, so we're down in the gym. We're going to show you how you can strengthen your exercise with limited equipment. Jace, what we're going to do is an isometric hold, so a bent knee iso hold. This is for those, I guess, that are at a beginner level. Yeah, it's our first phase. Nice, Jace. So we're encompassing our human biology by standing in a sprinted position. So really at the top of our sprint, we'll put on this planet to run, to sprint, to throw, to hunt. So Jace, what is actually happening is he's lighting up this left hip flexor. We've already been going for about 20 seconds. We'll aim for 40. If you're really challenged and find this too hard, just do it for 30. Make it easier for yourself, that's fine. It's where you are at individually, and then we can progress. Have a little break. Okay, feeling that right in here, right?
Yeah.
Really lighting up that psoas. To progress, to make it harder, we get a band. We put it around both feet, Jace. 1, 2. Same thing, if you need this to hold on to, we're going to be working on that left side because we did do that left side.
See how we go
earlier.
without it. Let's go. Test my balance.
Good.
Ooh, maybe a little finger.
Little finger. Good. And can you bring it up higher? And this you might hold for 20 seconds. Really good. Again, I like isometrics because they target the tendon. They have an analgesic effect. And they're working on strengthening that whilst contracted, but not irritating it while going through ranges. Sometimes you can have some irritations. Have a little rest.
Feel that light up.
Compared to, show them a moving one where you would come up and down. So see how this can sometimes cause some irritation in the hip. I like to just do the isometrics. Hold that one position, really contract it as hard as you can, light it up, and then see how you feel. And straight away, you get some really good results.
Yeah, you do feel some nice activation in that hip flexor.
Yep. So 2 simple exercises. A lot of you have weak hip flexors. Give it a go. Let us know how you go, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Done.